We're just two friends who love the movies, call each other every morning. I was gonna say something, but then I had already hit the record button. But I was gonna say, because like previously when Vanessa met you, like she didn't really get to like hang out with you, right? Like
Right.
whenever
Yeah.
it was only like, oh, brief moments here and there, right?
Hmm.
But when we got back, we were talking about the trip and everything like that. She's like, yeah, talking about Alabama and Tennessee and our trip over there to Georgia. And she was like, like now it makes sense why you are friends.
That's kind of funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess she was just saying we were both weirdos, right?
yeah, probably, yeah. She,
Well, it was funny too, man, because you know, to Chloe, Tio Sammy is just like this larger than life character who does the grape song.
uh-huh.
So she got to like meet a celebrity. Yesterday, I was we were finishing off the Fruit Loops. So I get Fruit Loops and Hawaiian Punch as part of Sam's
Oh
welcome.
man,
It's part of his welcome grocery. And
is that
so
what you
I
sent me? You
no,
sent me
I just
something?
yeah, oh yeah, that was just Sam and I send gag recordings to each other a lot. So, but anyways, it was like a family size huge box of Fruit Loops and a huge jug of Hawaiian Punch, and obviously they were just there for a day or two, so they're not gonna finish it. So me and Chloe have just been plowing through this for like weeks, and we finally finished it. And she was like, oh, that was nice of Tio Sammy to bring us the Hawaiian Punch and the Fruit Loops." I was like, no, no, that was me.
That
Okay.
was you. Yeah,
I'm
no,
your hero, not Tio Sammy.
you gotta, dude, you should have just left it. She could have remembered that for the rest
She
of
was
her
like,
life.
"Is Tio Sam Santa Claus?" I was like, "Yes, yes."
Yes, he is.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Don't tell other kids, but yes, he is.
Dude, so dude, we got a lot to talk about, but we'll save that for tomorrow's episode. Today's episode, folks, is one of Mitch's picks, right? It's you wanted to be doing top 10 biofilms. And forgive me, Mitch, but dude, I had a hard time really like coming up with like there's a lot of biofilms, but I found a lot of them to be really good. And like yeah, man, I don't know. Like I'm just it was really tough. Really, really, really tough.
I found this
Um
our other list as well. And as usual, when we do one of these, I do put some thought into it, and I try to engage the assignment, but I don't try to like, you know, break my back on it. It's like part of this I think is just being sort of intuitive, and I always kind of say going in, I don't really stand by this list too much, except that it's the one that I made, it's the one that I turned in, it's the one I'll take my grade for. So, but this one I did find to be a little more challenging.
yeah, I don't know. I just found myself trying like a very, very hard time like figuring out okay, like where do I put this one? And it was just hard, man. But
Yeah,
Mitch, real quick, because it is on my mind. I'm sorry. I know we had just discussed the list, but I just want to briefly just mention because we discussed it last night, man. Hayden Pantanier, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hayden
yeah,
Pantaniere. She
yeah.
passed away. Oh my gosh, dude,
I have
that's my childhood right there.
an article it from Caleb, and something I was really, because I had trouble sleeping after it. I had woke up to feed Hank a little earlier than usual, and was had gotten him back down. I was getting back in bed basically when he sent over the article, and I really, my mind was racing because something about it. Obviously, like when somebody that's younger
Yeah,
passes away, it hits a little harder. But I was thinking, what are the different ones that hit me over time in a deeper way, and why? Was it the the fact that Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, was, trying to help these animals that ultimately killed him? Was it the fact that Robin Williams was so full of joy and was always bringing
Yeah.
people in, so his death was unusual? Was it David Lynch's ongoing confusion and mysterious reckoning with the world that made that one hit harder? Was it Hayden's youth and beauty that made it hit harder? You don't know. It's just like there's something, because these people we interact with in their fame and in their artistry, they become like icons, and like people die every day, and every death is uh, a terrible, terrible loss and tragedy, like every person. But it's something about the way these creators that have you've been watching for a long time hit you in unique ways that have to do with who they are, who they've been to the public.
Yeah, well, with her, it hit a little harder than a lot of, we have a lot of celebrity deaths just because we well, I watched her a lot at school because of Remember the Titans, right? They used to just put that movie on like, oh, it's Friday, all right, let's just put this on.
I
And
wish,
people wouldn't complain, and then of course the early 2000s you have the show Heroes, save the cheerleader, save the world, she was the cheerleader, right? That's probably one of the most, the first season of that show is probably one of the most famous seasons of any show. I mean, it's so good, right? And so I it felt, a little like my childhood dying, right? And I guess what makes me even sad about it is a reminder that as we get older, we're getting further and further away from that experience,
oh
from that youth, right?
yeah,
Uh,
there's
and and it is
well
sad, man. It is sad, dude. Because I know that she was dealing with a lot of postpartum and all that and stuff, and it
about
never
that.
really, yeah. So,
We don't know anything about that yet, but in terms of the cause of death. But
oh yeah, yeah, no, no, no. I'm just saying, like, I know she struggled with that in the past. So,
but I didn't watch Remember the Titans or Heroes. I remember watching a little Disney film called Ice Princess. And
yes, yeah,
but somebody was pointing out, actually Tristan, who comments on it with us frequently from the Hard Ticket podcast, had commented that, oh, her and Michelle Trachtenberg, both stars of that film, died within like a year of each other.
yeah. Oh my gosh, man, that's it's heartbreaking, man. I'm sorry. I know we kind of took a little detour there, and I'm sorry, folks, but
Um,
it was on my mind like this morning, and the same with you last night when I heard it. I couldn't go to sleep, man. It took me a couple hours to go to sleep finally. Um,
thing
so
is, it seemed like she was. You mentioned her postpartum struggles or whatever. I don't know all about that, but she was, getting back into the game. It seemed like a little bit. In fact, 2 years ago, and nobody cares about this, but she did have a film in my top 10 movies that she was the star of, called Amber Alert, which is basically like a TV movie that on Hulu or something that I fell in love with. Um, and I felt like, yeah, there's no telling what. And she was a musician. I don't know if you've interacted with it much of her music
no, no,
either, but it's just sad, man. It's just like a star going out, right? And even though she was not like a super big one, it's just like she was, like you said, always kind of at and around our childhood and what else. So, and her brother had passed away years prior too. Did you know?
yeah, yeah. That's what
So
makes it even sad, man.
a horrible situation for her parents, her family. That's it's just awful.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, I know we still got a lot more to talk about, but I just wanted to briefly, it didn't feel right just kind of ignoring that. So, look, man, I like I said, I had a struggle coming up with my 10. So I don't really have honorable mentions. If I had to name a couple, I would say, you have, I would say Ray. You have, I'm just looking at some,
Like
yeah,
Rage.
Raging Bull, My Left Foot. So those are just a couple that, stand out to me, but they're not in my top 10. So you have honorable mentions?
Yeah, just a handful, and I had Raging Bull in mind too. And yeah, dude, this ranking I'm looking at is so bizarre. But I had Love and Mercy in my honorable mentions. I had Moneyball in my honorable mentions.
Okay, Moneyball would be in mine too.
Yeah, it's uh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I had in my honorable mentions, and I had Rudy in my honorable.
Okay, all right then. I
Is it
forget that. I forget. I always think of that like as a sports inspirational movie. I forget that it's also a biofilm.
you're gonna forget about it and it wasn't gonna be on your list, even though it should be. Dude, it's crazy. I just mentioned the film Amber Alert, and I just got an Amber Alert. If you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, uh, too late probably, but say an temporal prayer for whoever's captured in this 2009 white Ford F-350 truck. You know, hey, just a PSA. There was a stat at the end of the movie Amber Alert that said, you know, it gave a pretty, I can't remember what it was, but it was a pretty big percentage of lives that were saved through the Amber Alert system.
Yeah.
So never ignore it. I'm looking around and I'm not seeing any 2009 white Ford F-350 trucks, but always do your citizen duty and just take a peek around and see if you see something strange. All right, sorry. Okay, yeah. So what's your number 10, Sam?
So my number 10, real quick, is the Basketball Diaries.
Ah,
This is the movie that got me into
poetry.
writing poetry. It was the movie that got me into getting those composition notebooks, and I would carry it. It was so funny that people around the school would uh some people would ask me like, why do you always carry your notebook, and I always had it folded up in my back pocket, just like he did in the movie.
That's
um and yeah, so it's, Mitch, this is the movie that got me into writing poetry, and then Once is the movie that got me into writing music, writing songs, so they're connected in that way. So yeah, my number 10 is the Basketball Diaries.
that is so funny, man. I remember I was trying to think when you said that, like, what if any movies glamorized the writing experience or writing poetry, and I can't think
It
of any.
it would be
That's
that. It would be that movie, I think.
well, obviously I haven't seen that one, so it wasn't that.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I
But
mean, it does. To me, it does, but
no, yeah, I think that's cool. That's a cool thing to glamorize. I think. We talked a lot about movies that glamorize certain virtues or just certain pursuits. It's kind of like a favor you can do to a kid to screen them something that's
yeah.
gonna.
I should clarify, Mitch. This
You weren't.
movie it's not a kids movie, and it's really a movie about addiction, and how his poetry is able to get him
Well,
out
I'm glad,
of that.
glad addiction for you, my man. There's plenty of movies that do that.
Yeah. So
Um,
go ahead. What's your number 10, man?
is one I know you're not a big fan of, but Angelina Jolie's Unbroken, about Zaffarine. I always the first movie that ever made me see RY, and very powerful testament to the human spirit to just be trite.
Okay. Well, my number 9 is Born on the 4th of July, Oliver Stone's.
I wasn't
Uh,
expecting.
yeah, this movie is very heartbreaking. It's very powerful. I think that I don't know who else was campaigning that year for the Oscars, but I think that this is one of Tom Cruise's best performances and easily could have gotten him an Oscar win. So my number 9 is Born on the 4th of July.
That's a good one for the saddest movies list too. My gosh. My number 9 is The Greatest Story Ever Told. Have you seen this movie, Sam?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Mm-mm, not at
It's
all.
old 1965 Hollywood adaptation of the Christian gospel. Max von Sydow plays Jesus, and there's just a murderer's row of old school Hollywood stars that fill out the cast in cameos. John Wayne plays the centurion that repents at the passion. It's just um it's not something you think of like if you're like, man, it's not your Terrence Malick Way of the Wind, which we haven't seen yet, which
Yeah.
so it's pure like old Hollywood. But
Okay.
when I as a kid, I was one a very big fan of old Hollywood, turn classic movies, golden age, and two a very big fan of Jesus. So it was like an interesting collision for me to see something like that when I was young, and I loved it and still love it.
Well, that's cool, man. I didn't even know about that. That's and it's the greatest story ever told. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, my number eight is a movie that you have on your honorable mentions. That's Love and Mercy.
Oh,
I think this movie is so like it's so refreshing in terms of a music or a biofilm, I should say, because of the fact that um, it zigzags, right? Like it's a little bit all over the place, which
it,
was intentional, right? Because of Brian Wilson. And I just think this movie's so good, man. It's really great. So my number eight is Love and Mercy.
my number eight is Steve Jobs.
Of
Uh,
course.
Cool way, like Love and Mercy, a very cool, fresh way to do a biopic. You know, it's basically like three acts, and it's all around three different product placements. But the way they interweave biographical details is awesome. And I think the choice for Fassbender to play Steve Jobs is totally inspired. It's like casting a biopic is a big part of it, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of times just cast someone. I don't know. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher does look a lot like Steve Jobs. Big whoop. You know, but when you get the right person that just is an actor and can just embody the spirit and kind of produce something, it's almost makes the person immaterial. I think some good biopics do like make the person so immaterial that it becomes universal, but they're still interacting with the biographical details. It really is an art.
So and that was your number eight, right?
Yeah.
So my number seven is Amadeus. Yeah, I mean it's loosely, but it is. I looked it up. It is considered a biofilm, right?
Is that
Um,
Hard was parodying?
what's that?
Is that the one that Walk Hard was a parody of?
I think I'm sure it was one of the movies that it parodied.
Just kidding around, my friend. But
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, Walk Hard parodied a lot of movies.
yeah,
So have you seen Amadeus?
yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah. So another really great classic movie. I mean, I don't think it gets a lot of like in talks of like, oh, the greatest movies of all time talk, right? But
I
I
mean,
cer- I
picture,
certainly think it's a great film.
yeah, it won Best Picture. It's I think it's very pretty critic proof in its ongoing examination. My next one is A Hidden Life.
Oh
Um,
man.
Terrence Malick biopic. This is about a guy whose name I can't pronounce, but who basically uh, wouldn't participate and unwholesome regime changes going on in his country during World War II with the Nazis, and he was killed for his trouble. So just this small in the title of it, a hidden life that someone insignificant, quote unquote, could have a biopic made about them is intriguing to me.
Yeah, I was that is that Malik's most recent work? Is that his the last movie he released?
It is.
Wow. Wow, I remember watching that at the Bijou, man. Um, Yeah, Jesus, I didn't realize that. That makes me feel a little older than I. Great movie. I didn't even think about that being a biofilm, to be honest with you. It probably would have made my honorable mentions. But go ahead. Well, I have a few spots left. I'll go ahead and add that one to that. My number six is
The few spots.
uh, my number six is Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's one of, I would say, if I had to make a ten list of movies I'm dying to see in theaters, this one is one of them. So Lawrence of Arabia, just a truly epic film. Absolutely love it.
Okay, my next one is Andrei Rublev by Tarkovsky. Now,
Okay.
this one's pretty offbeat uh, biopic too, in terms of it's like structurally kind of like Steve Jobs. Now that I think about it, that would be a weird double feature, but it's about one of the early Christian iconographers, and it takes place in sort of like the Dark Ages. It's very minimalist and really wrestles with a lot of uh, deep ideas.
Okay, I haven't seen that one, so I'm glad you're putting on movies that I haven't seen. So that's always cool. My number five, we're in the top five. So my number five is a movie that my brothers would pick on me for because I would always try to imitate Leo in, and that's The Aviator.
Oh yeah, good one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
My brothers, I would always do the way of the feature, the way of the feature.
So good.
It's such a great film, man. I actually I think this is one of if not for bringing out the dead, I think this would probably be uh Scorsese's most overlooked masterpiece in my opinion. But I think bringing out the dead is.
Again, it's very beloved. But when you get a lot of bangers like him, it's easy
Yeah,
to.
I think that's what it is he has so many great films that it often gets overshadowed. So my number
Um,
five is The Aviator. I just think this is perfect casting all around. Kate Beckinsale, Kate Blanchett, like it's great, man. I love this
yeah,
movie.
and I'm surprised that it wasn't near my list. But my top five, number five, Walk the Line. Um,
Okay, all right.
so that's I mentioned Walk Hard. I'm never gonna watch that movie because it destroyed this movie's reputation. This movie is fantastic. Its
It is.
story is great. Its performances are great. It really like lit me up when I saw it as a youngster, renting it from Blockbuster, and sent me on like a Johnny Cash kick. Started cramming his biographies, and I think that's something cool that a biopic can do. That it creates this impression, this inspirational impression, and then lets you go dig for more about
Yeah.
the person. But you started consuming all his music, bought his albums, and I don't know, started wearing black. It's
Oh yeah,
just
you still do. I mean, you still do.
it's a great movie.
Yeah, well, that's another honorable mention on my list. Maybe even my top 10, actually. But I love that movie. Watched it when I came down here to San Antonio to visit. My uncle took us to go see that. And we ended up watching a double feature of that and Just Friends. So, yeah, good pick, man. So my number four is The Social Network. I
Nice.
mean, we've talked about this so many times, Mitch. I mean, I don't know, like it's just an incredible film. I mean, it truly is a masterpiece, and I think it is like one of the greatest films of the 21st century. Um, it's a
Yeah,
big film. It's a big film ahead of its time in terms of everything that's going on with social media and all that. And it makes me even more excited to see the social reckoning now. So, yeah, Social Network is my number four, man.
well, I'm excited about the social reckoning, and I think the way that Sorkin constructs biopics is amazing. He finds like a detail of a character. He finds what's thematically resonant about whatever they were up to in their life, and just it just turns up the gas on it. He's such a gifted screenwriter, and Uh, but my number four is A Man for All Seasons. This is about Thomas More. Is another person like in A Hidden Life. That would be a good double feature where it's someone who kind of just is resolute, has the courage of their convictions, uh, can only stand by their conscience. It's so well written. It's Paul Scofield in the lead. Robert Shaw from Jaws is in it, and he's awesome. Orson Welles has a role. Really beautiful movie.
Well, that's cool, man. I haven't seen that one. And I didn't even think about, including older films. I could have included. What is Sergeant York a true story, a biofilm?
Yeah, Sergeant York is a true story, a
Oh
biofilm.
man, then that one would have easily been in my top 10. So my number three is a movie that I know for a fact is going to be in your top three, maybe even your number one, dude. My
Whoa,
number three is Into the Wild.
oh, that's a
Um,
good one.
so this movie changed my life. Well, the book changed my life first. I remember reading it and I read it multiple times, and it was just like an escape, right? And it's funny when you're younger, you think of this guy as like, man, this guy is awesome. He's the hero. But now as an adult, it's like, okay,
And,
uh, your
and
perspective has changed, right? Which, you know what, Mitch, that might be something interesting that you may want to write on. I'm curious to see like maybe like a big paper from you about like the perspective that you have as a younger person watching this movie or reading this book, and then the perspective now as an adult, a parent yourself, watching it. That would be something cool. I would be interested in you reading, dude.
yeah, yeah. When you said the book changed my life first, and then in parentheses you said because I'm a better person than you. My number three is Into the Wild, also, my dude.
Dude,
Mitch McCammon.
nice.
This is a great biopic. It's impressionistic, but it's detailed. Like you get information, but you also get artistry. Amazing soundtrack, great lead performance. I mean, just so much of what a great biopic can be is contained in this film, and then just the perspective angle that you bring into it. It is one of those movies where it hits different people in different stages of their life differently. So that was my number three. What's your number two?
All right, my number two is Schindler's List, man. I mean, I wasn't gonna include it, but you said you were like, no, this is a biofilm, and it's like, okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it is, and I feel guilty about including it because I feel like this movie it's just on another level. I mean, we've discussed it many, many times before. It's a film about the Holocaust, and it's a film that is just it goes beyond films, right? And I think if aliens came to Earth, right, and we were informed that we could only hand them 10 films, right? Which that might be an idea for
Oh
another
yeah,
video, man. If
that might be
aliens
his
came
next
to
list.
Earth, yeah, if aliens came to Earth and we could only give them 10 films, what would those 10 films be, So this would be at the very, top five easily. This is a true work of art. Yeah, so
That was
incredible.
number one on the sadness list.
Yep, of
So
course.
it's already showed up on the list. It was your number one Christopher Nolan film as well for some reason. And now,
Okay.
but yeah, that movie's like being in the eye of a storm, man. It's very, very powerful. My number two is dude, Sergeant York, Gary Cooper, bringing the heat as Alvin York in the 40s. Uh, Such a great story about a guy who's no good, who becomes born again. His
Oh
heart
man.
is completely changed. Uh, he finds love, and his conviction is so strong about nonviolence because he sees that that's what the Bible teaches. But his conscience develops in such a way that he does the trolley problem and goes overseas and becomes a war hero. Really fascinating simplistic, but not in like I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Uh, good. This one, okay. This one is a very good movie, I think, for young men to watch when they're young.
Yeah, one second.
Uh-oh. Sam's at
Sorry.
work. We're not
No.
gonna get to know his number one.
No, I was just checking on Nova. I'm actually working from home today. Uh, so yeah, I was doing my work and then talking with you and then but
Sam's
yeah,
number
man.
one is a home video recording of Nova. He's like, this is my favorite biopic. It's still in
Exactly.
development.
Dude, it is. Yep. That's my favorite Bible film,
Ooh.
man. No, my number one should come as no surprise. That is Rudy, man.
Wait a
Um
minute. Your number one is Rudy?
yeah, I misled you.
Okay, very funny.
Yeah, my number one is Rudy. I mean, it's like depending on what month you ask me what my favorite movie is. Right now, it would be my favorite movie of all time. Last month obviously was Magnolia, and then, but yeah, Rudy is just my favorite movie of all time. It's a biofilm. It's the most inspirational. It's done a lot for me. So yeah, Rudy's my number one, man.
Okay, my number one is Lawrence of Arabia.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And those are our biopic countdowns. Been a long and meandering episode, but I enjoyed as always talking to you.
Yeah, man. Well, I gotta get back to work. You have a good rest of your day, man. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.